You've got these AI chatbots, as well as you've got search engines now that are doing these summaries, which means people get the answers that they need, and they're way less likely to actually click through. You're seeing like even just referrals from even social platforms such as Facebook and X, drops of like 48%, 28%, depending on which one. These are significant for any type of publisher, so huge impact there. And then you've got the fact that the content that is being synthesized that people are consuming is still their content. It's just they're not being attributed for it. So there's loss of revenue in terms of that. And then something that they were facing before anyway was a lack of trust, because there's like this big backlash against big media in general. And it's quite polarizing, like who do you support, left or right, that sort of thing. You've got people that are just fed up with it and fed up with the noise, so there's news avoidance overall. So you have to also win back the trust, but then you have AI on top of that, so now they're not sure they can trust even what they're seeing with deepfakes and everything else. So those are all the challenges that we absolutely have on the ground. So we've built our own model that allows us to listen across various social networks, and then allows us to synthesize that information and see how we can then utilize that either to come up with different stories, or at least just to understand the perspectives of our audience and how they're interacting with a particular topic. We use it for efficiencies, so we have some tools that we've taken off the shelf that we haven't made ourselves, but allows us to take a very long piece of content that can be like a few hours watching a particular, say, primary for an election. And then we're able to clip that super quickly utilizing AI. But then we obviously make sure we do editorial across that in terms of how we use it for our own means and everything else. So that and more is how we're doing it. We're actually coming up with tools for some of our users, because we're creating a new platform at the moment as well. So, and also for how we interact with some of our clients. So some of our data tools we've created. So all of these are all different places that we're using AI. But where we cross the line is our actual content itself. So we do not, that is editorially driven right from start to finish. And while AI can help us in terms of speeding up that process, so especially as we're such a small organization, helping us to scale while staying very lean, we ensure that end to end it's editorially driven. A lot of our stuff is either face to camera, or we're taking things that have happened, scenes that have happened, and we're putting those together. In terms of if we were to use AI to generate any of that, we would absolutely tell the audience. And while I know that that's like a double-edged sword, because I think Reuters reported recently that if you use AI but people can't tell, their trust actually goes up. If they can tell that you're using AI, it makes it go down a bit. Or if you've used it and not told them, you could particularly lose the audience altogether. So you're sort of damned if you do, damned if you don't. But for us, again, with our specific audience, we don't use AI images as an example, not with our direct audience. We've used it with some clients that have wanted to do that, but with our audience, we don't. And quite frankly, they would call us out if we did. And that's what we enjoy from our specific audience, is that they call us out on things. Even if they feel a piece of content is off brand, they'll say, look, why are you doing this sort of thing? And that will then really make sure that we go back to our values. So I think they keep us in check to ensure that we don't cross that line.